What's up guys, Ryan here. Welcome back to the Practical Japanese channel. In this video, we are going to be learning about the causative form. If you're new here, welcome, but this is going to be a little bit more of an advanced video. So if you're still on the beginner side, I do have a playlist for beginner and intermediate level lessons as well. So if you need to catch up and learn some more, go watch those, come back to this one later. But essentially what the causative form is when you're saying that you're forcing somebody to do something. I'm making someone do something, or I made this happen. That's like, I'm causing this to happen. Some prerequisites I would recommend before getting into this video is knowing how to conjugate te form and knowing how to conjugate verbs into the plain form or the casual form. But if you know how to do that already, perfect. Let's get right into this video. So like I said earlier, the causative form in Japanese is used when you're forcing somebody to do something or where you're causing something to happen, making something to happen. So I would use this conjugation in situations like I made Totoro go to school, or I made my students write their homework. He forced his friend to drink some beer. We also use this form a lot when using like higher levels of keigo, but I think I'll have to talk about that in another video because that might take a little while. So anyway, let's jump right into my notebook so we can see how to conjugate this and get through some examples. Alright, so welcome back to the notebook. As you can see here, we have our typical affirmative, negative, present/future, and our past tense conjugate down here. And as usual, we are going to start in this upper left corner of the matrix. And so let's get right into it. So we are going to start with our verb. And in this case, we shall use the verb ikimasu. Okay, so we have our verb stem here. And the rule is to take the stem, change it to the a sound, and then add seru or semasu. Okay, so iki goes to the ki, turns to the a sound, so iki becomes ika, and then we add seru, ikaseru or ikasemasu. If you want to be a little more ikasemasu. If you want to be a little more polite. Alright, continuing on with our examples, we shall take this commonly used verb, nomimasu. We have our stem, no mi. The mi turns to the a sound, so that becomes no ma se ru or no masemasu. Okay, no ma se masu. Nomasemasu. We will take our e sound example, and that common example is tabemasu. The be is an e sound, so all we have to do is add saseru here, like what the rule says, or sasemasu depending. So tabe just becomes tabe saseru. Okay, or tabe sasemasu. Tabe sasemasu. And that is to, the meaning of these examples is to force someone to go, or force someone to drink, or force someone to eat. Okay, or force something to drink. Okay, so plain and simple, moving on to the past tense. And this is going to be very easy because it's pretty much the same thing, and especially if you already know how to conjugate in the plain form, it is pretty much the exact same thing. So we'll just move on with the next verb, kaki. The ki becomes the a sound, and then we add seta for past tense. So kakaseta is to like force someone to write. Okay, and the next example we have here is this verb, and you might already know this one as shirimasu. Okay, and so the ri becomes so 知らせた 知らせた which is to make someone know, or a better way of putting it in English would be to let someone know something. So 知らせた okay? And let's just do another one for the sake of example. And what word shall we use? Okay, and this next word that we'll use is another common word, kaeri. So kaerimasu is to go home. And so the ri again becomes ra. So kaeraseta. Made someone go home, or you let someone go home. Okay, moving on to our next example, we have the negative present/future tense. And again, if you already know plain form, this will be very easy because it is the same thing plus nai. Okay, so we're just going to recycle these examples that were used over here. So, ikimasen becomes ikasenai. Ikasenai, to not force someone to go or to not let somebody go. Okay? And another example, we have our nomimasen. So the no mi becomes no ma, and then we just add se nai to that. So we have no ma se nai. No ma se nai is to not let someone drink, or to not force someone to drink. And our last example, the a sound, we have tabemasen just becomes tabesasenai. Tabesasenai is to not let someone eat, or to not force someone to eat. Okay, and moving on to our last example, we have the negative past conjugation. So that is the didn't version. And again, we're just going to recycle these words to show how to conjugate them. So we have kakimasen deshita becomes se nakatta. Kakase nakatta. I didn't let that person write. Okay? And then shirimasen deshita, or the shiri becomes the shira se nakatta. Shirase nakatta. I didn't make that someone know, or I didn't let that person know something. Okay? And the last one, kaerimasen deshita. The kaeri becomes kaera se nakatta. Kaerase nakatta. I didn't let that person return home. Okay? Alright, so here are more common examples that we use with this verb conjugation. And up top here, we see that this form is actually pretty commonly used with keigo. And so this is an example of that. Oshirase shimasu. Oshirase shimasu, which is the keigo version of saying shirasemasu, which is to let someone know. Okay? Another example, moving on right here, is sasete moraimasu or sasete itadakimasu. This is a pretty commonly used keigo form. So whenever an employee is talking to you and you're the customer and they want to do something, but they're kind of like asking for your permission to do it, or like, is it okay if I do this? Or they're just going to tell you that, hey, I'm going to do this. They usually use this form to like be more polite. It's like so moraimasu and itadakimasu is to receive, right? And sasemasu is to let do. So they're going to receive you letting them do something, if that makes any sense. So this example down here, 少しご案内させていただきます。So ご案内します is to guide somebody, right? Or to like give them a briefing, I guess. So ご案内します。But させて is to like let someone or to make someone do the briefing or guide them. But then いただきます is to receive that. So on top, they're going to be allowed to, they're going to receive being allowed to guide you, or they're going to receive being allowed to brief you. That's literally what it translates to, but it's just like an extra formal way of saying, I'm gonna, tell you what's going on right now. This is the briefing. Like they usually say that like before tours or something where they're giving people information. So, okay? So, sorry, that was kind of a drawn out example, but 少しご案内させていただきます. Okay? I hear my coworkers say this a lot. 体を休ませてあげてください. So, 休ませる, 休ませます is to allow someone to rest or to make something rest. And then あげて is that conjugate to, when you're doing something for someone else or something else. And then てください, that's the てください form of that. So we have 3 different verb conjugations here. Hopefully you already understand the あげる, てあげる, and てくださいconjugations. Okay, so 休ませてあげて is like, please let your body rest. That's what it means. So please let your body rest. It goes kind of in the opposite direction, I guess. So 体を休ませてあげてください. Okay, it's pretty much saying please rest. Okay. And of course, another commonly used one, 聞かせてください. Please let me listen. 聞かせて, for example. Okay, moving on to the next examples. We'll also notice that this causative form is pretty commonly combined with the passive form, which we learned recently, and that is the られた or られる conjugation. So this combination would be させられる, させられた, させられる. Okay, so a common example of this could be お母さんに勉強させられた. So from my mom or by my mom, I was forced to study. You kind of see how that happens. So られた is when something happens to something, and then させ is to force. Okay, so 勉強 is study, so forced to study, but it happened to me, so that's why it's られた. Okay, so 勉強させられた. Okay. Another common example could be if you're being forced to eat something you don't like to eat. So like little kids, they don't like to eat their vegetables oftentimes. So in this example, we have キャベツを食べさせられた. I was forced to eat cabbage. This is common for me. When I was really small, I didn't like cabbage. So キャベツを食べさせられた. So 食べ is eat, of course. させる is to force, and then られた is like when something happens to the subject. So forced to eat. That's what this means. Okay, if you don't understand this られた or this passive verb conjugation yet, please go back and watch that because it'll help you understand this a lot better. Alright guys, so that is going to be all for this video. I hope those examples were good. I hope they were easy enough for you to follow along and understand. Again, if you have any questions at all, please let me know in the comments down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to this channel for more free Japanese learning content. And if any of this information helped you out in any way or was useful, please feel free to give my buddy here a like. Thank you very much again for watching. ありがとうございます。また次の動画で会いましょう。じゃあまたね。